Let me call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting of Pottstown Borough Council for September 3rd, 2025. Would you rise for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Infrastructure, Councilor Lebedinsky.
It's in your packet.
Got it. And where are we? Transportation, Councilor Proskal.
There was not a meeting.
I got that. Ordinance review, well, I have nothing. Economic development, Ms. Lee Clark. Aye.
Good evening. There's a little party going to happen next week. It's called Fête en Blanc. So if you don't have your tickets, we're almost sold out. So please make sure that you get them no later than this weekend, because we don't want to stop you from coming and enjoying what is plans to be a beautiful evening with the weather. The other important announcement that I have is Paid was the recipient, I know you've heard me say this before, of an LSA grant, local share account grant from DCED. We were able to use that for some streetscape planning, public spaces, et cetera. So we are having a public session on Thursday, September 18th from 5:30 to 7 o'clock. You do need to register because the community college is kind enough to have host us, but they need to prepare for the amount of people that are going to be there. So there is an opportunity to register. Advanced registration is required. I am going to leave this up here on the table, and after the meeting, if you want to attend, you can scan and it will take you to the registration. So please feel free. So again, 5:30 to 7, and then there will be a follow-up meeting after they've gathered all the information from Simone Collins doing a presentation on December 10th on a draft plan. Why do a plan? Because once you have a plan in place that gives some sort of direction of what you would like to do, then you are able to do that to go and find further funding. So really important. That's an important piece of it. I was going to give you some figures about some real estate figures, but I think probably the greatest economic development boom that happens every Labor Day is with the Low Show. And so I'm going to yield the rest of my time this evening to Jamie Orr, who I'm sure would like to go to bed at some point this week.
I just want to say thanks to everybody, to the town. I know we bring a lot of traffic, and there's, hopefully a lot of good economic impact. And the local businesses have caught on. They're hosting more events. They are producing their own merchandise. It's amazing. We don't have many hotels in the borough, but hotels 15, 18 miles just completely sold out weeks and weeks in advance. People now commuting from King of Prussia who live in North Carolina, California, etc. Specifically, thank you to everybody that assisted. I'll give a moment to Public Works specifically because, again, they were just phenomenal, and I get emotional about it. We work until 2 a.m.-ish on Monday morning after the show, and we leave with everything pretty tidied up, and I'm the first one out at 7 a.m., and they beat me to it again. I walked the entire length of the field, and I picked up 4 tiny scraps of plastic that probably blew in after they'd been passed, and I go out with 55-gallon trash bags and rubber gloves, and there was nothing. I can't describe how little there was. Even on a normal day, we're pretty good, but this was phenomenal. Just absolutely thank you. And for anyone local in the wards that says, hey, there's a lot of traffic, etc., thank you for your patience on it. So please let your constituents know if their normal parking space or their normal restaurant parking space is taken. We apologize, but we hope we bring a lot of business and warmth to the town. Very initial reports. I think we raised $6,000 for the theater. I got told last year the Boy Scouts made $2,000, so I don't know. $2,000 profit, I believe even. I don't have any other numbers, but $6K so far for the theater. And I can give up the time now unless anyone has any questions or feedback right now.
Only one. I was talking with my vice president before today's meeting. Any chance you could do a second show, maybe in spring? This time we want Bentleys and Rolls.
Hey, I think everyone came and spent pretty good money. No, we're still trying to weigh up how to do next year. It is such a big undertaking, and it's so dear to my heart that we don't charge spectator parking, which was another point. So thank you again to everybody for that. We don't charge spectator entry because we want it to be very low entry for people to come that aren't sure about coming, and also for people to bring their whole families. And we're really pushing come for 3 meals. If you just come for the Sunday, park outside, walk in, get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we saw an amazing amount of people still out late in the evening, but very minimal noise, which always worries me. We're always out there kind of walking around, and we have the extra security, and knock on wood, it's just been phenomenal. I mean, by 11 o'clock, everyone's tired because they get up at 7 to wash their cars and go to the next thing, which is Saturday morning at North Coventry, fire for a fundraiser there, etc. So, no, twice a year will kill me.
We don't want to do that.
Although I will publicly say to the stakeholders that are here, I have a lot of infrastructure now. If anyone else needs PA systems or anything else, even barriers, we've spent thousands of dollars on additional barriers this year for one weekend, which is a little wild. But no, I do think I'm talking to Paid, etc., about seeing what other events we can do that are not car related that I could assist with there. So we have the containers, we have all these other things. So if there's a Christmas village or something, I think that would be great. So
Good.
the car things are tough. There's a lot of infrastructure there, but if people just want to come and see Santa and buy some wine or something, that would be lovely.
I was impressed with the layout because you had the food trucks on the bridge and the seating areas there, and it just kind of led right up High Street. It's like the flow in and out and up and down the streets it was crowded. I was really impressed. And that includes Red Horse because they had their show, in the earlier part of the weekend. But it was just bringing everybody in for like that last final pop of, cars to come in. I thought it was great.
I appreciate it. And yeah, Parks and Rec, we work with them for the tables and chairs, etc. I will go on record on this. Very specifically, we only allow food trucks from 19464, 465. We've had really aggressive people from Philadelphia, really excited business owners from Philly really reach out to us 20 times. And we say it's a hard rule because we have so many businesses that we're impacting here, but we also have local food truck owners, and we put them there on purpose because it's nice with the river. You sit there and we have our tents, but we do it to separate so there's not a pizza truck in front of a pizza shop that's there already. And so, but it makes people walk further. That's why we did the second container stack this year to try and make it look more festive. And we're very conscious that we put so many flags and so much money into those and the special cars so that people feel like this is really world class. And then hopefully they don't feel the need to get too drunk or do something silly with their car or anything. So there's a lot of conscious thought just on the food trucks.
Oh, it was unique. And again, like I said, putting it on the bridge and like you said, having the creek run right underneath of it, was just a unique experience. Next year, make sure that purple Lamborghini comes back, because that was really neat.
We got great reviews on a Lamborghini. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a Volkswagen group show, but Ducati, Lamborghini, Bentley, that's all part of the group, so they're very welcome. We don't actively market because we don't want to have the one Lamborghini owner there trying to talk about oil changes and there's no one else with that experience. But no, the feedback from them was wonderful, and I think the kids love seeing that. So I'm sure they'll be back.
It's great. It was unique. I went Saturday and Sunday, and and just walked around and was asking some of the companies, some of the businesses that were there. The reception was good. It was not just good, it was terrific. They said that they knocked it out of the park with the stands that they had outside their businesses. They were just killing it. So it's things like this that needs to be brought into town to really help out the town. And it's a wonder. It's something you don't see every day. And again, Red Horse, I give Red Horse a pat on the back as well. It brings back the nostalgia of the 80s and 90s where we used to be a cruise town. You know, whether the police liked it or not, it was what it was. But you know, it always kind of harkens back to that in some way. We are a car town, I think, in some ways, and we have progressed from that, but it doesn't hurt to look back every once in a while and, you know, put the old throwback jersey back on and just become a car town again.
I think our infrastructure is built for it compared to Phoenixville, where parking's a nightmare, never mind driving, etc. From the cruising, I mean, I moved here right at the very end of it. The war stories that people have of, oh, my buddy wrecked his car into a tree. I'm like, that's why we don't drive on Sunday. It's very static on purpose. But no, and I there's too many people to thank. I'll finish this with, there was an anecdote that I have on Thursday night at Sly Fox. We start there. 2 old guys came out. They've been to the Red Horse, etc. for years. And they said, hey, we just love this event. We are so excited to come hang out. You know, we wish we could bring our car. I said, bring what the heck you want. You know, and even on Sunday, you just park outside, but everything's open. And they ran home like teenagers and grabbed their Deuce Coupe, their 32 Ford Coupe, drove it in.
Ooh.
And next time I saw them an hour later, they were surrounded by kids talking about Frenching tail lights and how they shave this and everything. And they just were in their element. And I think that's what I want. Just share your knowledge and your hot rodding knowledge with the kids, because they're 20 years old and they're driving a silly Volkswagen that most hot rodders don't understand. But it's because they're cheap and accessible.
The funny thing was, as I was talking to Dan, was that I saw a car out there that had a paint job that made it look like it was rusting and broken down. But I looked at it closely, I'm like, that's a clear coat over top of that. So it was done on purpose. And it's just the unique artistic ideas and abilities that people are applying to this kind of thing. And it just is what makes it unique.
I hope people enjoy the festivities. My neighbor 2 doors down and my next door neighbor, I've never hugged my next door neighbor. He's a lovely gentleman in his 80s. We all had a great big hug, and the 2 doors down neighbors, their family comes in literally like it's a block party. Mm-hmm. So they come in from out of town on purpose for this weekend and fill up the whole house and sofas to come and hang out because their maybe 8 and 10-year-old daughters love it. They don't give a darn what car it is or anything. They just love that there's bright lights and music and everybody's happy, and that to me is phenomenal. It's, yeah.
And the weather was great too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for bad weather. We're going to run out of luck some year. Anyway, thank you. I'm missing 1,000 people to thank, but specifically, yeah, that department and the cleanup is just always mind-blowing and so appreciated when we're so tired. But to everyone else involved and everyone in the town, just thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't go away yet. I want to apologize to you. I'm the one that stopped you
I
in the
know.
middle of the street.
But I said I was going to do,
'Cause you
I
drive my
broadcast I
favorite
was doing an
car.
illegal U-turn. Yeah.
It's not illegal. There's no signs. Sorry, Meg.
There is. Oh, no, there's not. Sorry, I'm on
There's not a
record.
sign.
No, all we do all week is just rush up and down trying to collect things and meet tow trucks. Hawk Towing as well. They do
Yeah,
the
they're
crane
really
lifting.
good.
And I can't start thanking everyone because we're here for hours and I'm wasting too much time. The police did an amazing job. It was phenomenal. We had, as far as I'm aware, 2 incidents which were unrelated, local people and somebody with on parole from Delaware or something.
Oh, that's fun.
And they were just phenomenal. But everyone was. Thank you, everyone.
It was beautiful. The town was packed all weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Thank you.
Don't miss the part where he said, we don't have enough hotels.
I heard that.
Don't miss that part. We're constantly looking for that opportunity so that they can stay here as well as have fun here. Okay, that's economic development.
Yep.
Let's just go right on to land
Land
bank.
bank, yes.
And guess what? I have nothing to report,
Okay.
so let's move on.
All right, moving right along. Human Relations, Ms. Levingood.
I'm going to make this a little short. Good evening, councilors, Council President, Madam Mayor. National Hispanic Heritage Month is from September 15th to October 15th. This is a time to celebrate the history, culture, and contributions of Hispanic Americans, specifically those whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central and South America. We did not have a quorum for our August meeting, so therefore we did not have an August meeting. And the Commissioners' next meeting will be held on Tuesday, September the 9th at 6 p.m. in Council Chambers, and all are welcome to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. And from the library, Mr. Vasoli.
Thank you, Council. I have just two things to talk to you about today. The first is Booktoberfest, which is the library's fall fundraiser. I want to take a moment to talk about these flyers. We made the choice to make them all orange, so this is all pure orange ink. So we need to sell multiple tickets just to pay for these flyers. To pay for the radio ads and the blimps and all the television advertising we're doing, you know, that's another expense that we need to cover. There's going to be a lot going on at Booktoberfest. It's October 16th. You can get alcohol tasting from a lot of different local alcohols. There's going to be food from local vendors. There's going to be a piano performance from a Pottstown artist, a silent auction, and if you can't find a babysitter for the kids, we will have a juice tasting for them in the children's section, supervised far away from you. So we have a lot to offer for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a link where you can get tickets on this flyer. You can also go to our website or go to our Facebook page. It is prominently displayed alongside all the other ways that you can give us money. The second thing I need to tell you about is we have two new board members.
Nice.
Khalid Ashraf, who I believe applied to be on the Human Relations Commission as well, and Brian Sieber, who is the local vice president for First Bank, which is also the library's corporate sponsor, and he's been a huge asset to the library. That's all I have. I hope to see as many people at Booktoberfest as possible. The tickets are competitively priced, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Ricketts Center, Mr. Kirkland, anything to add?
Yeah, they just wanted me to reiterate the some of the summer programs are still ongoing. But the basketball camp ended last week. But just general things are still going on that we announce periodically. The fitness camps are still going on, karate, church volunteer programs, the Hill School volunteer programs are ongoing. Shower, laundry program for the homeless, after-school program, now that school started, is picking back up. If you want any more information, you call the Ricketts 484-945-1020.
Very good. And from the school district, Councilor Lindsay?
Okay, I think the last week of August, the school, the State Association honors Tom Hilton has been recognized by the Pennsylvania School Board Association for his 15 years of dedicated service to the district. So this was on August 24th, and I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Hilton. Currently, the Pottstown, thank you, yeah. Currently, the Pottstown High School girls soccer team is having a fundraiser at the Applebee's located at 833 North State Street. That's, you guys know where that's at, over there by, okay. So you can do it in person, or you can call Applebee's, and the code is doing good. And they will donate 20% of the check, excluding taxes and tips. And this is for Pottstown High School girls soccer, and this is only for today. So after we leave this meeting, because I know it's going to be long, and I know you guys are going to be hungry, so you might as well go over there to Applebee's. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And from our mayor?
Yes, good evening. I've been asked to draft and present a proclamation. September 17th through the 23rd is Constitution Week. And on, sorry, let me start over. I apologize. I was going to ask, did you want to come up? Did you want me to present this to you, or do you want me to read it from here? You can read it. Okay. I apologize. Whereas the Constitution of the United States was debated in Philadelphia during the summer of 1787, and it was signed on September 17th, 1787, and established the framework of our national government. And Wednesday, September 17th, 2025, marks the 238th anniversary of the signing of this foundational document. Whereas the Congress of the United States, by Public Law 84-915, dated August 2nd, 1956, authorized and requested the President to proclaim the week of September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week to encourage appropriate ceremonies and observances in the communities across the nation. And the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution were the ones who initiated this observance in 1955 by petitioning Congress to establish Constitution Week, and since that time has continued to promote the study and remembrance and defense of the Constitution. And whereas the Manatawny chapter of the DAR has been serving the Pottstown community since 1939, is commemorating this anniversary by hosting 2 events on Constitution Day, September 17th, an honor and remembrance ceremony at Zion's United Church of Christ, recognizing Revolutionary War patriots that are interred there. And then also at 4 o'clock, we will be participating in the Bells Across America. The 4 o'clock time, if you set your alarms for that and let your phones ring, it's to recall the joyful ringing of the bells as they walked out after signing the Constitution. And I think a lot of the churches and the Hill School will be also participating as well. So if you hear a lot of bells at 4 o'clock, that's what that is. The celebration's goals are threefold: to encourage the study of historical events leading to the Constitution's framing, to remind the public that the Constitution is the foundation of America's heritage and a way of life, and also to emphasize the responsibility of all citizens to protect, defend, and preserve the Constitution. And especially now, in our own time of rapid change, civic challenges, and political divide, I think it is more important now than ever that Americans understand the Constitution's principles and respect its rights and guarantees, and stay committed to defending the rule of law that secures our freedoms. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie A. Henrich, Mayor of the Borough of Pottstown, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through September 23rd, 2025 as Constitution Week in the Borough of Pottstown. And I call upon all residents, schools, community groups, and civic organizations to join in this observance by attending commemorative events, ringing bells in unity, and dedicating themselves anew to the study and defense of our nation's Constitution. Thank you. And, sorry, go ahead. And Marcia, I have to correct a spelling error that I made, so if you could pick this up tomorrow, I will fix that right there. And just given the time, I am gonna run through, I'm just gonna pick out some key points from my report. The Low Show, Jamie, I just wanna say, I spoke to Anthony Saturday, they shattered their sales projection of all time. Over $17,000 in sales on Saturday, so they say thank you from the alley. And I was also asked to publicly thank the borough and Public Works especially by the static car owners, and I learned what that is. Static means they don't have hydraulics, so they do really drive this close to the ground. Yeah.
In Pennsylvania?
Yeah. So they all wanted to let me know that they love Pottstown. High Street is the best paved street they have ever driven on, and they will, well, we did all that work, right? See, it paid off. Everybody was complaining. So they all say thank you. There are no potholes. Their cars were safe. So thank you for all that paving. Let me just see. Okay, sorry. Notice to council, so pursuant to 8 PACS Section 10A 5B2, please be advised that on August 19th, 2025 at 9 a.m., I united Jesper Pallison and Lily Laurent in a private ceremony in West Conshohocken, and I waived my fee. And then Saturday, 9/6, this Saturday, take it outdoors. Technically, their season is over. However, it is going to be super nice out. So they are extending their season, and for all those people that live in the 19464 area code, which is here, if you go on Saturday, you get to rent a free kayak with proof of residency. So bring your driver's license for free, rent a kayak.
That key word, free.
You're gonna do that? No? Okay. And then, as Peggy said, we have our Fête en Blanc, we have our pet fair, we have the first annual suicide prevention awareness fundraiser, we have our tennis learning golf tournament, we have the fall funny fundraiser for track, and then 9/24, please sign up at Montgomery County Community College for the blood drive. It's from 9 to 2. There's a national shortage, always. It's very easy to do. The app is very easy to use, and it doesn't hurt, I promise. I have donated gallons, so please, if you are available, please sign up. And I'll save the rest for Monday if anything's important. Thank you for.
And from our manager?
All right, good evening, everyone. I'll try to keep this somewhat abridged as well, but I do have a couple important updates for you all. So we did have a follow-up with Senator Pennycook and Representative Cerisi's office regarding the letter that we issued to them for the recovery homes and requiring the state to license those types of facilities in the borough. So both were supportive, and they're looking at different avenues that they can try to assist with this. So I know that one of their next steps is they're meeting with the chair of the HHS committee to present the topic to him, and they're going to report back to us on those findings. We also discussed the recent letter on bail reform, and there's actually a letter that's sponsored by Senator Pennycook that passed the Senate that's on the House floor right now to be debated. So we asked Cerisi to support that as well, so he's going to look into supporting that bail reform letter, bail reform bill. And then also, Senator Pennycook's office mentioned if we were looking at machine gun conversion devices. And I said, well, matter of fact, we are. And they'll be getting a letter from us soon on that. So they're looking at legislation on that as well. So I think we're in good alignment with what we need in terms of their legislative initiatives that they're pressing forward as well. A couple construction updates, PennDOT night work. They're going to be doing some crack sealing over the next few weeks on Route 100, High Street, Charlotte Street, and King Street. And so motorists should just kind of plan ahead. There will be some temporary lane restrictions, but again, all this work will be during the evening. Today, the borough began their milling and paving project on the roadways. So they started with Evans and New Street in South Washington. And then tomorrow they'll be milling part of Cherry Street. And then once they finish Cherry Street, they'll move on to Mill and then North Washington. And then starting Friday, they'll follow up with another crew behind them to start paving on Friday. And then they'll be working their way west to continue to pave the rest of the roadways that were identified in our paving plan that was presented to you. And then also we have the sidewalk repair grant that is finally going to open for applications. We're calling this the Walk and Thrive Repair Grant Program. Applications will be posted onto our website Monday, September 8th. So any residents that qualify or are interested should look into applying. And just again, this is a pilot program that provides financial assistance to eligible owner-occupied households with extremely low to moderate incomes to repair sidewalks damaged by street trees while prioritizing the preservation of the tree canopy. So again, check our website September 8th for the application and to apply. And application will be open until October 10th. And then just an announcement on the more prevalent use of e-bikes and scooters in the borough. We recognize that with some of the rising costs, more people are turning to micromobility transportation options such as bikes, e-bikes, e-scooters, and things of that nature. And I think while most in the borough are generally supportive of these forms of transportation, riders must ensure that they are using them safely and in accordance with the vehicle code if they're using them on roadways. So recently, the police department has recorded a marked increase in accidents that have caused injuries to riders. And in most of these cases, the person operating the motor vehicle was not at fault, but rather the person operating the micromobility device, such as the e-bike or the scooter, was at fault because they were not properly following traffic laws. And some of the most common things are riding in the wrong direction of travel and ignoring stop signs and red lights and things of that nature. And basically, these just create unnecessarily dangerous situations for everyone. So we wanted to announce that over the next few months, the police department will be stepping up enforcement of these activities, and those found violating traffic laws will be given warnings or issued moving violations. So I just want to put that out there to everyone. If they're using these types of mobility devices, please understand you must follow the vehicle code or you will be cited.
Good.
And then lastly, staff has been preparing for the Limerick emergency drill in November. We do this every year, and we conducted a training and tabletop exercise with Montgomery County Emergency Management on August 27th. And that concludes my report.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to turn to our solicitor, Mr. Garner, for the zoning situation at 504 Chestnut.
Well, thank you, Dan, and good evening, everyone. Mr. Murray's going to have a busy night this evening. He's representing the applicant that is hoping to redevelop what's been a problem property for the borough for many years at 504, 512 Chestnut Street. Mr. Murray, could you give council just a brief update of what your client proposes to do with the property?
Yeah.
Yes, very good. We do have a quick presentation to make everyone aware. Our clients have the property of 504, 512 Chestnut Street under agreement. It was a former dairy, factory, warehouse, and there's also a dilapidated single-family residential structure on the property. Their plan is to demolish the residential structure and then totally rehabilitate the existing property to make a 24 apartment units with 36 parking spaces in the parking lot. I want to bring these guys up real quick. Maybe they could tell themselves a little about themselves. Just to make sure, what we initially did was file a zoning review application, which your zoning officer reviewed. Prior to issuing her review, we did have a staff meeting, discussed the project, discussed who these guys are, where they've done other projects, what their typical product was, met with Justin and Patty and Peggy Lee from Paid was there, to make sure that this is something that they can take on and have the wherewithal to bring a quality product to the borough of Pottstown in a property that's, our understanding, has been a difficult property for the borough. And with that, I'll turn it over to Elon to kind of.
Sure. So Elon Sherman, just a quick introduction. I'm a local developer out of Bucks County. I've been at this for about 12 years, and I've always had a fascination with finance, construction, and real estate. So about 12 years ago, I got into it. I started small in Philadelphia. I'll try to keep it brief because I know it's getting late. And I worked my way up and built larger and larger and larger buildings, and I started to really get into older, dilapidated properties. That's kind of become my sweet spot. I'm usually going into the properties that everybody else is afraid of, which I think this building, if any of you know it, fits that category quite well. I have a very prescriptive process of what I build, and that's what you see on the screen here. So typically, I like 2-bedroom units, and I can get into why if you'd like me to. They're typically 750 to 900 square feet. I make them really nice, premium finishes, always central heating and air, all stainless steel appliances, ice and water in the refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave over the range, hardwood flooring throughout, so we make them really nice places that people want to live. We take these old dilapidated buildings, and then people that have lived in these communities where I've done this, they come and look at these buildings and they can't believe, you know, the before and after. And I do have some photos of some other projects that I've worked on. Do you want to just?
My name's Andrew May. I'm a local landscaper and excavation company. I have a few rentals myself, mainly, you know, more storage aspects, and a few small residentials. I know Elon, I've helped him basically on every project he's worked on, so we're familiar with taking an old dilapidated building, you know, refurbishing it.
Oh, I guess, there you go, there's more. So this is one of my early projects about 6 years ago. It's a famous mansion over in Quakertown. On the left you see before, on the right you see what it looked like after. I'll just go through these real quick. That's an interior shot of an old barn that we turned into an apartment, I want to say 7 years ago. That picture, you're looking at the exact same wall before and after, just to give you an idea of the finishes, the hardwood flooring, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. This is another building where there was a building, it was too far gone and we had to take it down, unfortunately, so we've done new construction as well as some of the older blighted buildings. This is one I'm working on right now in Quakertown. This is a 10-unit property. It's an addition onto a historical building that we were able to salvage. It was potentially going to get torn down, and we were able to gut it and bring it back to what it looked like in the early 1900s. I actually found a postcard from that time of what it looked like and restored it. Some more interior finishes of some apartments I've done over the last couple of years. Here's a few more. So they're all kind of the same, the way that the apartments are laid out. You come in the front door, large open family room, kitchen area, generally a hallway with a full bath, and then you have a bedroom on each side, 2 bedrooms. This is a sweet spot that we go for. Now we are at the property in question on Chestnut Street. So these are just the exterior conditions of what it looks like today. And it's not the greatest shape. The bottom left shows the single house that Mike mentioned over to the right. The property has the old brick factory building. There's a connector there that you see in the bottom right between them. And on the left, you see a stucco block building that was built sometime after that.
Believe it or not, it's worse in person.
Some drone shots. There's a nice sunroof up on the 3rd floor there. Here's some interior shots as well. The picture in the top left is right as you come into the front door of the factory building. On the right is if you turn and go up those stairs. Puddles everywhere in there because it just, you know, pours rain in there. The building's in horrific shape. It's horrible. These are photos of the upstairs. Bottom left is the concrete block building. And then this is the proposed exterior that we would like to create. So you can see that center connector, we're basically going to remove it because it's in horrible shape. It's kind of a do-it-yourself special that somebody put together to put the 2 buildings and then make it a proper addition that's equivalent to the rest of the building. On the right, you have the old factory building with the brick, which we'd like to maintain that facade, and we think that's important. I go through a lot of effort in all my projects to basically keep them historically accurate and continue that into the future. On the top left and right, that's kind of the logo that we came up with. Since the building was a dairy processing plant, we came up with Dairy Foundry Apartments to kind of honor the heritage of the building. And then our architect was supposed to join, but he was not able to stay late. But basically the way that he's designed this is as you go up, that's an addition up on the top story there. So he kind of lightened it up, but we carry the brick, the existing brick, all the way up so that the facade looks like it belongs and blends the old with the new. And we've got a rooftop deck. And then there's a very large basement as well below the brick building, so we're planning on a gym down there for the residents as well.
Yeah, the rooftop amenity, after we had our staff meeting and we discussed, and they were incorporating a rooftop amenity at 274 Hanover Street, and saw what a beautiful view it was looking on the distance, and, you know, looking for opportunities to incorporate a similar amenity in some of these other projects as well. These guys were willing to do that. We have 2 applications pending. We have the zoning hearing board application, and we have which the hearing's scheduled for October 1st. And then the following week, we have already submitted the conditional use application. So we will be before you again requesting, because it's a conversion of an existing building, we do have to go through conditional use for this as well. A lot of the variances that we're asking for in this is based because we're working within the confines of where these existing buildings are on the property, and, you know, besides the height variance, some of the things are with regard to very architectural specific details like window to wall ratios, and you can see a lot of places working with that block building, it's not meeting that standard, but for the most part, in the larger part of it, they're keeping a wide array of windows. This thing is surrounded by 3 streets, 2 actual streets, 1 alleyway. There's a requirement of not putting parking in a front yard. Well, there's nowhere else to put it because it's nothing but surrounded by front yards. They are providing 36 parking spaces for the 24 units. Of course, the ordinance requires 2 spaces per unit, so they are asking for a variance for that reduction in parking to provide 36 for the 24 units. But most of the rest of it is all related to you know, working within the confines of developing these existing footprints.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Murray? Mr. Murray, I presume you would like council to support this application in front of the zoning hearing board. Is that a fair statement?
We would love that. I mean, understanding that this was a difficult, troubled property that our understanding is the borough would like to see redeveloped and revitalized. We'd appreciate if council would support the application, and our understanding that taking care of this is important to the borough.
Mr. Proskal, it's your ward. Do you have any
I was
comments?
going to say, the pictures that you showed in your presentation are actually much better than they were a couple years ago. I remember I reported on blighted property reviews, and I gave you a couple of pictures. You know, at least you cleaned up all the, you know, the pallets, the bobcats, the you know, the trailers, and it was a horrific blight on the property, and it still continues to be so. I would say I'm much in support of it. It would be nice if you maybe could have saved the old house, but I understand for, you know, need for parking and the condition it is that you can't. The only feedback I got so far would be, you know, the addition on the top, you know, increasing the height is more of a concern. It's, you know, has some parallels to the Mercury building, but this is much different. You know, the Mercury building's a flagship building on Hanover Street. This is a dilapidated pile of bricks and arguably one of the rougher parts of town. So, but I do like the design. I like, you know, the elevation shows clearly what you're going to do, you know, like where it's nicely tied in. It was a kind of more brutalist architectural style. And I was and also it's not right next to somebody's house. It's right against, it parallels the alley, correct, if I remember correctly? So, you know, the elevation change shouldn't, you know, blot the sun out for the neighboring properties.
And part of the height variance that's required is to incorporate that rooftop amenity. They have to extend the elevator and stair tower up to the top. So you got about an additional 10 feet to have 2 means of egress out to the rooftop, stairs and the elevator. That is also, it typically isn't counted in the height if it's under 100 square feet, but incorporating both things into that's approximately 200 square feet. So it is counted as part of the building.
Every year for National Night Out, it's usually held at Chestnut Street Park across the street, and it's just always kind of dampened because it's always in the shadow of this, you know, looks like a demilitarized zone at the time.
If you go around the property. It's surrounded in chain link fence. There are still some trailers for tractor trailers on the property. It is in really bad shape, so.
Of course, it'll be, lighting and cameras and everything else that we want in a renovation like this, right? So, yeah. Excellent.
I'm sorry, how many units were proposed?
24.
So this may be a little premature. I'm just wondering if there would be any interest in possibly making one of those units capped at the 30% of the adjusted gross income, given our housing shortage. And Limerick has just raised their senior rents 50%. So this is this problem's gonna become worse. So I was just reaching out to see if there'd be any interest in working with low income and reserving one apartment.
Like I said, it's open for discussion. It is really what, if the borough, our understanding is the borough is trying to bring disposable income in there. So whatever their priorities are, I'm sure we're willing to work with them on certain aspects of it.
Thank you for coming in with a well-done presentation and your integrity to keeping the brick and doing the right thing. Thank you.
Do anyone else?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I missed, did you say that you own the property, or you're subject to a sales agreement right now?
It's under agreement of sale right now, and it's subject to obtaining, not land development approval, but getting the zoning approvals in place. So
Okay.
that's why we're moving the zoning process through as quickly as possible, and then we'll deal with the land development aspects.
So if you're not successful in getting the zoning approval, the project could be on hold or off the table?
It could be off the table.
Okay.
Because that's their only way out, is if they don't get their zoning
Okay.
approval.
Thank you.
So council, as Mr. Murray stated, the zoning hearing is October 1st. He has submitted a conditional use, which will hold at the October meeting, which is required for the conversion of the existing non-residential use to residential use. So you will be able to see a lot more information about this at next month's hearing. But Dan, I suggest we list this for council consideration if they want to take a position on this for Monday night.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, 11, Parks and Rec.
Dan, we have a couple more zoning
Oh, you
appeals
do?
that just.
Okay.
Council, we received yesterday 2 additional zoning applications that unfortunately didn't make the agenda. We'll add those applications onto the agenda for tonight. One involves 17 Rosedale Avenue. It has to do with a storage shed that's too large and too high. So that application will be part of your agenda packet to review prior to Monday night's meeting.
Okay.
In my view, it seems like a neighborhood issue as opposed to a borough-wide issue, since it's seeking dimensional relief for a storage shed. The other, Mr. Murray, just hang there if you would, please. Mr. Murray has another client regarding 379 Cherry Street. I believe council will recall this is the former Maria Sunta building, which has actually been to the zoning hearing board on a number of occasions, seeking variances for various uses. Given the unusual nature of the building, the size, it's in a residential neighborhood, but it's certainly not a residential building. Mr. Murray, if you just quickly advise council of what you're seeking as far as zoning relief for that building.
Correct, and because the building is located in the TTN zoning district, basically, anytime you bring a non-residential use into the building, you're going to be back at the zoning hearing board looking for zoning relief to show that it's not negatively impacting the neighborhood. Probably about 3 years ago, we were there requesting a variance to allow a doggy daycare facility in the basement of the building. That location is particularly well suited for that type of use because I think at one point it was also like a bomb shelter as well. So it's very sheltered to I guess, any noise that would emanate out of that lower region. That business went in there, like I said, approximately 3 years ago. It did not survive. There were some neighborhood issues that were giving some of their clients, I guess, some issues with bringing their dogs there. And eventually she found a alternate location, I believe in Boyertown, that she relocated to. Since that date, because it's been somewhat fitted out for that type of use, he's been trying to get an alternate similar use, doggy daycare. I said we had one that was looking for like a kind of a cafe and doggy daycare where people could let their dogs run around and grab a drink. That did not work out. Right now, they do have someone who's interested in providing a doggy daycare with some overnight boarding there as well, because the original doggy daycare approval did not include overnight stays. We need to go back to the zoning hearing board to include that. When that was approved, I think council did not object to that application and sent a letter that they would like conditions of approval that it ensure that it complies with all the noise and odor ordinances of the borough, and which we agreed to comply with that then and would again now. While we were at it, we did submit a second variance request for use of, there's an existing auditorium on the second floor of that building. It's fitted with a stage, it has the parquet floors, it has a balcony that people can look out over top. The property owner has been approached by several local youth organizations, nonprofit organizations, other organizations that want to utilize either the space for meetings, practices, basketball games, that type of thing. And I guess to try to do that every time someone comes around, the zoning process takes too long for that. So what he's looking to do is to have permission to utilize that auditorium, gymnasium space for general auditorium, gymnasium use for those who in the community would come forward and wish to, rent it for practices, assemblies, what's it called, recitals. That I'm trying to think of other things because my kids played piano and guitar, and I know we stated like local church places for that type of stuff. So that this would be available for that, but it needs to be zoned to be allowed to do that. So they're the two things that are being requested.
Okay. We will have the applications as part of the agenda for you, council, on Monday. So you can decide if you want to take any action on any zoning appeals. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Murray.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks. All right, now, Memorial Park Ball Field. Welcome.
Thank you. All right, and I got my slides up. Okay, so I'm loquacious by nature, but I'm going to stick to the script in the interest of making sure that this goes quickly. This presentation is a necessity. When we talk about changes like this to the park, it's important for us to have transparency in what we do, and I'll address that a little bit later when I go through this. So forgive it's a dry delivery, but it'll help things move a little quicker. All right, so we're here tonight to talk about proposed changes to the Memorial Park property, and this is resultant of recent and regular flooding. Now, understand these changes are not a reaction to the most recent flooding, but they're informed by years' worth of observation. So the mechanism for proceeding with change is the state, the park, following this most recent flood. So what we've observed after this flood is really what's causing us to question how we move forward with this. We don't like to make these changes without adequate transparency and talking to the community and having outreach. Now, we did have a meeting on this on August 14th. It was well attended, but I did want to make sure that this was also covered at a council meeting. So thank you for letting me take the time to do so. So up on the slides here, you can see the current features of Memorial Park's southern portion along the western bank of the Manatawny Creek. You can see we have the Parks and Rec Workshop, the Trilogy BMX track, walking paths, the Veterans Island, as parking areas, athletic fields. These include 2 90-foot baseball fields. Now 90 foot refers to the distance between the bases. That's the baseline. This is generally used for ages 12 and up. And we have 1 60-foot field. We typically know this as a Little League field. This one is Ron Rocket Rhodes Field, also known as field number 3. So field number 2 is the one we talk about most. That's the one that's most northerly in the picture that you're looking at. And out from that, we have a large grassy area that was originally envisioned as a multi-use field. So the heart of the athletic facilities here, and this is one of our parks that has primarily athletic facilities. You know, we have playground parks, we have nature-oriented parks, passive-use parks. This is an athletic-oriented park. So the heart of this athletic area is the ball fields, and these ball fields are primarily composed of sub-base aggregate covered with infield mixes, clay and sand. There's topsoil, there's grass, there's bases anchored by concrete footers, and a mound that has a brick anchor. There's a pitching rubber, and otherwise we have a mound of clay that's at the center of this, backstop fencing, and unfortunately all of the things I've just described to you are very sensitive to flood damage. Next slide. All right, you can see this is our park system, and you can see where Memorial Park sits, just north of the Schuylkill River. We go to the next slide. You can see this is Memorial Park with a FEMA flood map. So you can see where the flood runs right through all of the facilities we just discussed. And take note that field number 3, that's Ron Rocket Rhodes Field, that does sort of skirt the edge of the heaviest flow, and that'll become important later. All right, next slide. Flooding is not a new occurrence in Memorial Park. We are experts on how it tends to happen. Flash flooding, like we had in 2019, is a little less common, and relative to the park, a little less destructive. More problematic flooding occurs when the Schuylkill River rises above the Manatawny Creek. This backs up the creek as it has nowhere to drain, and it jumps back in at Riverfront Park below the bridge, and it starts flowing along the Schuylkill River Trail. This also creates a backup along the curve of the upstream of the bridge in Memorial Park. It jumps the embankment there and generally starts to flow across field number 2 in line with the ball field, down the center of the pavers, and then back under King Street Bridge. We'll get a parallel flow across the multi-use fields and the outfield portion of field number 1. The heaviest flow, however, tends not to move across the number 1 infield. Generally, this type of flooding causes 2 kinds of damage. If we go to the next slide. All right, here we are in 2005. Again, not a new problem. You can see we're looking towards Memorial Park. Next slide. All right, so one type of damage would be it's going to pick up debris, it's going to move it with the flow, and it's going to hit stationary objects. In this case, in 2019, we lost the the fencing along field number 2. Logs and whatnot cause this. No way to stop it, just all brought from our neighbors north of us. Next slide. More importantly, we have the removal of our infield mix, the removal of soils, the removal of clay, and removal of sub-base aggregates. So what you're seeing here from 2020 is one of the worst ones we had. This took out all the infield mix. This took it down to the pea gravel at the bottom of it. Next slide. Same deal, twice over. If you take a look at the puddle in the middle of that, that used to be the pitching mound. So we started with a mound, and now what we have is actually a concave hole full of water. We put a tape measure in that at the time, and I think we found there was a good foot and a half of excavation then. Next slide. And the next one. All right, this was this year. You see it's very similar. You see we lost a lot of material here. All of the material you're seeing that's moved out. It can't be used again, all right? It can't be salvaged because it's got silt mixed into it. We've lost a lot of the clay. We have just the sand behind. You can't really do anything with this. Additionally, all of that alluvial deposit, that's killing all of the grass, that's killing all the turf that's underneath of it. So we have a lot of damage that's being caused by flooding that's happening on a semi-regular basis. We can predict it somewhat, but when it happens, there's no way to prevent this type of damage. Next slide. Again, you can see how deep this is. Next slide. and this is the footer that the base would have been attached to. So this one shows really just how much material we lose in this space. All right, we can stop there for a moment. You know, generally the cost of this is we have to dispose of the old stuff, we have to bring in new stuff. Now, in the past, we were able to do that with a fairly clear conscience because regular ball field usage on the 90-foot fields yielded us about $20,000 every year in rentals. We have not seen realize that kind of profit in a number of years. That's no longer a viable option. So while I won't say we didn't mind, we were able to stomach the costs, which could be anywhere from $8,000 to $18,000 to repair those fields and the cost. That's not something we can realistically do now. Furthermore, there's not the same kind of hunger for those 90-foot fields, right? So while conditions have not changed and conditions will not change relative to flooding, our needs have changed, and that's why we propose a change that's going to meet the needs of the community, and it's going to remove field number 2 and expand field number 3 to be another 90-footer. So that would put 2 90-foot fields in Memorial Park capable of hosting the type of tournaments we saw in the past, maybe not with as much frequency, but still in a suitable way. That other 90-footer will be at a location that's a little safer. That's at where number 3 is currently. This is Maple Street Park. Maple Street Park was recently redone. If you go to the next slide, Maple Small, it's Maple Large. Both of these were reinvested in by Little League, Pottstown Little League. So these were made as their primary softball and Little League locations. In addition to Novak, this is where Little League does the majority of their play. They have not needed or used Memorial Park, field number 3, Rocket Roads Field, for a number of seasons, which is why we feel comfortable with removing the 60-footer, turning it into a 90, and then taking number 2 out altogether and turning that into a multi-use field. We don't feel that that's going to take anything away from the youth programming that is needed and available. If we go to the next slide. We see here's the general layout now, just to refresh you with what we're looking at. And finally, to the last one, this is what we're proposing. One of our counselors drew this, by the way, for us in the summer camp program. Very simply put, we have 2 90-foot fields, and we have an open field. That open field will be suitable for lining for a number of different sports that play on a rectangular field. Lacrosse, rugby, football, all of these things are things we have seen a growing desire for. We have a number of third-party operators that want to find space to practice, to have tournaments. This is also in line with some of the suggestions from Arcadis when they came in this summer to talk about how to increase the use of some of those spaces. So we see this as more diverse use, and it's more resilient to flood damage. Doesn't mean we won't have damage. You know, we're still going to have issues with alluvial deposits. It's going to be hard on the grass no matter what. But this is going to be more resilient in the long run. We're going to have less risk and less cost. I did say I'd stick to the script. I did not do that at all. My apologies, but I think I got my point across. Do you have any questions? All right. Well, that's what we are proposing, and we would like to proceed with that this fall. This is all work that can be done in-house, I should add as well. My staff are already removing the deposits that are stacked on number 2. That's essentially the dead soil, as it were, that was pulled out of the infield mix. So again, we can proceed with this. We can do this without incurring a giant cost, without incurring contractor costs. This is something that we have the person power to do internally. So, thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Michael, if you got a second, I just want to thank you, okay, because you saw a problem and you're trying to solve it before it occurs again. I saw this the first time, and the second time it was just as good. Thank you.
I do want to add, it's not my original idea. This is something that comes from the whole staff of the department. This is something that our maintenance workers, Andy and myself, we've all looked at this and said this is the time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. Thanks, Michael.
Okay, tell us about the park buses.
All right, so we put out bids for 7 part buses totaling $82,011. That was the amount of the winning bids that we put out on Municipal. There was also 1 police vehicle valued at $4,000. So The buses were no longer needed due to replacements that were secured through the FTA and the police vehicles being recycled out. So the funds will be put back into the part fund and into the general fund respectively.
Okay, good. The Business Improvement District, Mr. Garner.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. The council recalls that in the June meeting, you had passed the ordinance that created the Business Improvement District. You have in front of you, in your packet, a management agreement that's required by the Neighborhood Improvement Act. The agreement's rather straightforward. It is the same agreement you essentially saw in June. It contains all the required elements that the act requires. The borough's only real obligation under this agreement is to file municipal lien claims in the event assessments are not paid on a timely fashion. The Business Improvement District Management Association is responsible for all the other duties that are required in the district itself. The borough does, of course, have the right to appoint one member to the BIDMA board, and that's Councilor Menastra. I think he's been at least one of the meetings of the board. If the council is inclined to approve the agreement, it will also approve the bylaws, which you have as part of your agenda. The bylaws have been changed to incorporate some suggestions we had made previously, and it's my understanding that the BIDMA has approved the bylaws. So everything is teed up for council to approve Monday night with approval of the management agreement. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about the management agreement or the bylaws or any component of the bid.
I will say that I have attended several of the meetings, okay, and I am very happy with what is going on. I am very happy with the communication, which is what I was very adamant about. And I was also very happy to see that the people that are paying more are getting more. And I will continue to be a pain in the rear end, okay, and still make sure that these people who are paying more get more, because it's a good thing. And I want to commend Danette because I appreciate the efforts that she's put in. And it's really a good, so far it's been a good thing, subject to change. Thank you.
Okay, we'll list it for Monday. 2024 Borough Audit.
Yes, so the next two items are ready for your approval on Monday night. It's the Borough Audit and also the Borough Authority Audit. Both of these came back with 0 findings.
0 findings, we like that. Okay, let's jump to 16, the non-uniform pension plan for the MMO.
And I'll cover these both at the same time as well. So as part of our annual pension actuarial valuation, the borough's increase in contribution, or MMO, to the 2026 pension fund is $5,538 for a total of $1,098,924 for the non-uniform pension. For the police pension, there's an increase of $9,309 for a total of $2,051,787.
Okay. I'd like to add that the increases this year are rather minimal due to changing our plan to, in how it's calculated, I guess that's it. We went to a smoothing factor. So these increases aren't much at all. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you. 18, an RFP.
Yeah, so Monday night, we're recommending that Borough Council considers a vote on authorizing staff to issue a request for proposals for borough engineering services. So as a general practice, the borough seeks proposals every 5 years. It's been a little more than that since we last went out for RFP for engineering. So if council authorizes issuing the RFP at this time, it would allow staff to review proposals, conduct interviews before year end, with the goal of bringing a recommendation to council for January 2026. And consistent with the past practice, the selection committee would be formed consisting of staff members and also interested members of council. So after Monday night, if this gets approved, any counselors that would like to serve on the interview committee, please feel free to reach out and let me know.
Okay. Next is for records destruction. We do this every year, but Mr. Garner, do you want to explain the changes this year?
You're on mute.
Chuck?
Sorry. Sorry.
First meeting shot.
I was having this.
This is a little different than the normal resolution. Sometime late last year, council had authorized us move ahead with allowing some of the records that we have to preserve to be converted to an electronic format. It was based upon the licensing and inspection department really running out of space for a lot of the records, including old development plans and other documents that they've accumulated over many, many years. So attached to your agenda is a proposed resolution. This resolution is required by state law and the Records Retention Manual. All of the documents that are listed in the resolution would be converted into a PDF-A format. They would be secure, they would be maintained permanently, most of them, as required by the Records Manual. After they were converted, the paper originals could be properly destroyed. The resolution sets the process for how it can occur. We just need council's blessing to move forward with this. I can't speak for what room or where these are all stored, but I know from going back years, we have to be running out of space. And all of these records that are listed in the resolution are permitted to be electronic format. And it's teed up for you to decide if we're ready to do this. Otherwise, I think we need to explore storage for paper documents.
Okay. Any questions, discussion?
It needs to be electronic.
Okay.
All of our medical records are,
Right. Very good. We'll list it for Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. 20, we'd like to talk about machine gun conversion devices. Well, actually, the letter.
Yeah, so I know that the mayor had requested this at the previous meeting, and essentially, we would just need, if council would like us to write a letter asking for legislation to regulate these, we would just need authorization from council to go forward and have staff write a letter. So I don't know if Mayor, you had anything else that you wanted to add to that?
It was just, it's in draft format, I didn't have it.
Oh, you have it, okay, great.
Well, I mean, it's, after you spoke to Tracy Pennyquick, I think that you and I should have a conversation
Yes.
offline so I can fill in the gaps, and I also was wanted to meet with the DA. But
Okay,
that's why I don't have a final draft for review, but
okay.
if council would be so kind as to approve that, then we can move forward.
Okay.
So you just need our approval Monday. Okay.
To move forward, yeah.
All right, so list that. Street closure for the Harvest Fest.
Yes, this will be from Beach and Charlotte to Walnut and Charlotte.
Okay, put that in. We have upcoming board vacancies, one for HARB, one for the Construction Code Board of Appeals, one for Environmental Advisory Council, 2 3-year terms. That's it, so we're looking for volunteers there. Got that. And any comments from citizens?
All right, first up, we have Jared Herring, 144 King Street.
Hello, I'm Jared Herring. I have a few things, I guess. One, congratulations to the chief. He got his drone vote through. I guess I have a question. Is there a drone on the roof? Hurry up to wait, I guess. So another thing, a lot of people around town, as I go around town, they all are talking about the e-bikes. I'm really glad, Justin, that you spoke about that. They'll be very happy to hear it. There's been a lot of people, so, you know, I don't need to reiterate everything that you said, but a lot of people asked me to come here to talk about it today because a lot of people are frustrated. Personally, I saw an 80cc dirt bike go down the sidewalk in front of the YWCA, an active YWCA, just to get around the 5 cars that were sitting at the light, came down the handicap ramp and kept it moving. About a week before that, I saw, which was 2 weeks ago, I saw a little kid almost get hit by an older lady. Whose fault? Probably the little kid. But then again, should he even be allowed to operate on the road? He probably doesn't even understand the rules of the road. So, you know, I think conveying the rules of the road is important, you know, however we can do that. I picked up this little pamphlet that you had right out here for biking. It kind of gives like the rules, so that's great. Maybe I can post this on Facebook or something. But yeah, I'm glad that you excuse me. I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a big topic right now in town. I guess there was one more thing, but I lost it, and I'm not going to take up everybody's time. So have a good night.
Great.
Thank you. Next up is Art Miller, please. We'll pass. All right, next up is Peggy Lee Clark. We get you again, all right.
I'll be quick. So I just wanted to, so PAID is supportive of the project at Chestnut Street. And there's a lot of history with that property with this current owner. He has been extremely difficult. And he actually listed the property, although he paid way less than that. He was asking $1 million for that property at one point. So the fact that he has come down to at least a saleable price for these gentlemen and this particular developer, I think is a very good thing. It is a property that would stabilize and also encourage further development. It'll stabilize the neighborhood. So I wanted to follow up with that. Obviously, we will be going to the zoning hearings as well, and I'll be asking PAID's board to write a support letter. But it's a really important project for that neighborhood, and it is a long time coming. Genesis Housing tried to get the building through their Washington Street reports that they did, one in 2010, and 12 years later, they were still talking about the same thing. So I just want to encourage you all to think about, I know that sometimes you like to let it just go to zoning, but this is a really, really important project. And PAID is our mission, when you strip it all away from the pretty languages, to increase the tax base. And the tax base pays for things like improvements to your parks that Michael talked about, and street improvements, and lighting improvements, and funding of the police for safety, and all of these wonderful things that Pottstown residents are so deserving of. But we have to do other things that aren't just the same old for development. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes public comment.
Okay. And from the counselors, Counselor Proskal.
I was disappointed. I had a family function I didn't go to last weekend, so I missed the Lowe's show, but I was able to see all the pictures, and it looked like it was a fantastic event. So hopefully we see them again next year, right?
Good. Counselor Banny.
I think we've covered everything. I'm good.
Okay. Vice President Levninsky.
Low show, unbelievable. I don't say much normally, but can't wait till next year.
Good. Counselor Lindsay.
I wanted to say that, I'm not sure if you guys seen it, but Grumpy's was voted among the top 100 restaurants in America by Yelp reviewers. I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's cool.
I want to thank everybody that came out to Chief Rogers' street signing ceremony. It was amazing to see so many people celebrate him, and his family was there. It was just really nice. It was really nice. The speeches from everybody who spoke. It was really nice, and I just want to thank everybody for coming out to that. It was heartwarming for me. So, thank you. Bingo, Tuesday, September 9th at Tri-County Active Adult Center. I'm thinking about going to that. We'll see. I know you guys are probably hungry when you leave here, so don't forget to go to Applebee's. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Yeah, don't forget to go to Applebee's, okay? And the code is doing good, DOINGOOD. That's it for me.
Good. Counselor Monastra.
No, I'll save mine for Monday.
Okay. Counselor Kirkland. Nothing. Mayor.
I just want to say thank you again to Trinita for running with the idea of dedicating the street. It was a beautiful event, so thank you. The family was so thrilled. It was so nice seeing how many people came too. It was great. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, I have nothing more, therefore, meeting adjourned.